So our pathetic and embarrassing corrupt disgraced mayor, Eric Adams, is now signing an executive order adopting the Zionist-led IHRA definition of anti-Semitism. I need every New Yorker to understand what an assault on our free speech this is. First of all, this is unconstitutional. I'm going to need to see lawsuits now. Lawyers, where are you? ACLU, where are you? I can't remember. Did the ACLU go back to representing the First Amendment, or are they still trash? This is unconstitutional. You cannot tell us that you're going to just change the definition of anti-Semitism to include criticism of the Israeli regime. People across the country are really not mad enough at the assault on our liberties on behalf of the Israeli regime. Whether it's in Texas, where they signed anti-BDS laws and laws demanding that towns that wanted to divest could not, or whether that's them doing this shit here in New York. You know what's amazing? Is how, remember when CUOMO was boycotting red states? A bunch of blue states started boycotting red states because they didn't like their policy. So in America, you can boycott America, just not Israel. Got it? It's a bipartisan assault on our First Amendment, folks. Republicans and Democrats agree. IHRA definition of anti-Semitism, which is championed by Zionists, equates any criticism with Israel and Zionism with anti-Semitism. Per the press release of the mayor's office, this order directs agencies to use the working definition to identify and address incidents of anti-Semitism across the city. Under the IHRA definition, chanting from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, for example, can be considered hate speech and acted upon accordingly. First of all, that's also unconstitutional. I know a lot of these ding-dongs don't understand the way that our First Amendment works, but did you guys know that hate speech is protected speech? That is part of the First Amendment. You are allowed to hate people. You can't harass people. You can't dox people. You can't beat people up randomly. But you're allowed to hate them. Conservatives especially don't act like you don't know this, because you guys are always fighting for your First Amendment right to say the N-word. Even when the white supremacists marched in Charlottesville in 2017 saying actually anti-Semitic chants, that was still protected speech. And everybody knows that, including the ADL that pushed for this shit, because they don't care about anti-Semitism on the right. None of these groups do. It was confirmed once again in Project Esther's documents that they don't care about anti-Semitism on the right, because on the right, they mostly support the Israeli regime, and that's what it's really about. They know this is illegal and unconstitutional. They're just seeing how much they can get away with. The move from Adams is a transparent attempt to court the Zionist vote ahead of the mayoral race, of course, 100%, which he's polling behind fellow Zionists Andrew CUOMO and the progressive Zohran Mamdami. First of all, shout out to So Informed News on Instagram, because they often highlight stories that other people are not talking about. But you guys, this assault on our First Amendment that is bipartisan has been in the works for a while. You remember back in April when it came out that the police were being trained to identify the watermelon and the keffiyeh as anti-Semitic symbols. They report those as hate crimes. So when you see hack organizations like the Apartheid Defense League saying that they recorded more than 3,200 incidents of anti-Semitism, remember that they are including in those incidents people just wearing keffiyehs or wearing anything that has a watermelon on it. I don't think you guys understand how important it is that you vote for Zohran Mamdami, because if you think that Andrew CUOMO is not going to embrace this assault on our civil liberties, you have another thing coming. He'll do that shit the second he fucking gets into office. Zohran Mamdami will reverse this. Should be reversed anyway, because again, it is illegal and unconstitutional. You can't just make shit up like that. You can't just say, oh, actually, criticizing the regime that's carrying out a Holocaust in Gaza, we don't really like you criticizing that, so we're gonna make it illegal. We're gonna reclassify it as hate speech. Is insane. So it's already unconstitutional. It's already violative of the First Amendment. And so people should already be fighting against it. Organizations should already be suing in the meantime. But so that we don't have to continue to deal with litigating this shit going forward and having to fight it every day, you need to rank Zohran Mamdami first, rank the slate for everybody else. I've talked about that in many videos. And do not rank Andrew CUOMO or Eric Adams or Jessica Ramos. We don't need to live in more of a police state here in New York than we already do.